is ITV News.
Good evening, I'm Shihab Khan. With Venezuela's President Maduro set to appear in a New York court tomorrow, US President Donald Trump has tonight threatened action against the country's interim leader, warning she will pay a very big price if she does not cooperate. Tensions remain high, and thousands of Maduro supporters have been protesting on the streets of Caracas. Venezuela's military denounced the American operation, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio insisted the US is not at war with the country. With the latest, here's Dan Rivers.
Extraordinary rendition used to be reserved for terror suspects, not heads of state. But the USA is treating Nicolas Maduro as a dangerous criminal. As he struggled to walk after the long journey, there was no red carpet welcome for him and his wife Celia Flores. Instead, the blue perp walk runway laid on by the Drug Enforcement Agency. His only words?
Good night. Happy New Year.
To keep up appearances ahead of his most remarkable appearance tomorrow at a New York courthouse.
We are in a safer and better place.
Today, on the Sunday talk shows, Trump's new muscular foreign policy was set out by one of its strongest advocates.
This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live, and we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States. We want to see the oil proceeds of that country benefit the people of Venezuela.
What is the legal authority for the United States to be running Venezuela?
Very simple. We have court orders. These are sanctioned boats, and we get orders from courts to go after and seize these sanctions. So that's, I don't know, is a court not a legal authority?
Venga por mí! The White House has been spinning its intervention on social media using rap.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
God bless our troops!
And rock to fire up its base.
And gentlemen, start your engine!
But in Venezuela, there have been defiant protests against what some describe as a new era of American imperialism.
We are against all the actions that the Trump government has taken over our country. We want our president back. We want the First Lady back. And we are here as Venezuelans defending our sovereignty.
And this was the uncompromising message from one paramilitary group.
There's something I would like to say to you, Donald Trump. If I could go there and take justice by myself, I'll do it.
While some Venezuelans are celebrating Maduro's capture, after yesterday's airstrikes, there is also a growing sense of unease. Will what's left of this regime now crumble?
We'll have more from Dan live in Washington shortly, but first, Robert is in Cucuta near the Colombia-Venezuela border. Robert, this isn't just about Venezuela. There must be tremendous uncertainty across the region now.
That is for sure. I mean, along here, along this border zone, there is certainly a visible and more muscular military presence. Some extra security forces have been deployed. A recognition this is a fateful week, not just for Venezuela, but across the region, and so many questions crowding in about that US raid. Was it really about regime change, or was it about just toppling Maduro, or was it about sending a message across the hemisphere about America's future intentions? Certainly in this small border town, Venezuelans have been out on the streets over the last 24 hours, many of them celebrating Maduro's capture by the US and cheering Trump's actions as legitimate and decisive. But you wonder, when you look at those pictures, whether that joy is premature, because tonight the regime in Venezuela appears intact. Certainly the security forces seem to have everything under control. And indeed, Venezuela's defense ministry has been addressing the nation. Vladimir Padrino Lopez calling the US raid imperial aggression, saying it was a brutal violation of Venezuelan sovereignty, and insisting that Maduro remains a legitimate president. So, look, this is the US engaging in kind of late 19th century gunboat diplomacy, and it leaves leaders across the region from Cuba to here in Colombia wondering what and who is next.
Robert, thank you very much. Back to Dan now in Washington. What can we expect when President Maduro appears in court tomorrow?
We're going to be a remarkable scene, Shihab. He will be taken from his detention facility where he's being held with his wife, Celia Flores, in a highly protected convoy into this courthouse in Manhattan in the Southern District of New York. We understand he's already had his fingerprints and mugshot taken. We may get that mugshot released tomorrow. There'll be no cameras in court, but we will get possibly court sketches. And then the trial, he'll likely be remanded into custody, and the trial probably won't take place for many months, possibly next year. Interestingly, it will be a jury of ordinary Americans from New York who will try him, and it's not guaranteed that there will be sufficient evidence presented to prove this narco-terrorism conspiracy that the Trump administration claims. On a different note, a dark warning tonight as well to the presumptive now president, Delcy Rodriguez of Venezuela, from the president. He's given an interview to The Atlantic magazine saying if she doesn't do the right thing, she's going to pay a big price, probably bigger than Maduro, without specifying what that price is.
Dan, thank you very much. Thousands of residents of the Swiss ski resort of Cran, Montana, gathered this afternoon to mourn the lives lost in the horrifying New Year's Eve fire. Amongst the tears and silence, there were also spontaneous tributes for the emergency crews who risked their lives to save others. Amy Lewis reports.
They struggle to describe their pain, but everyone in this town is hurting. Slowly and silently, they step towards the bar where so many young people lost their lives. At the front, the firefighters who were first at the scene. No training could have prepared them for this. The families are grieving, but they will always be grateful to those who risked their lives. One by one, the firefighters, who were all volunteers, are thanked. This 20-year-old was partying in the bar on New Year's Eve. He left just before the fire started, but some of his friends were inside and are missing.
Next morning, you wake up, and it turns out some of the people who you were with and stuff, they were gone. It's tough, especially since I'm a student here. I'm at a loss for words, really.
Around 40 people died, more than 100 were injured. 19-year-old Gianni Campolo was near the bar that night and helped rescue those inside. I just hope I don't fall into a phase where I risk finding myself alone, that I won't be able to tell the story anymore, and that I'm shutting myself off. The fire was the worst disaster this area has ever witnessed. The tragedy has brought the community closer together. Amy Lewis, ITV News, Cran, Montana.
Here, a teenager who remains missing, presumed dead after being washed away at sea in East Yorkshire, has been named as Grace Keeling. Police said that the body of Grace's mother, Sarah Keeling, who was 45 years old, was recovered from the sea in Withensea on Friday, and officers are still searching for Grace. 67-year-old Mark Ratcliffe, who died while trying to save them, has been hailed a true selfless hero by his family. The Prime Minister says he will still be in the job this time next year, saying changes in leadership are not in the national interest and that people should very soon start to see the impact of government decisions taken last year. Our political correspondent David Wood is with me now. It's a new year and Keir Starmer's hoping for a change of fortune.
And he desperately needs those fortunes for him to change too. What he's trying to do today is assert his authority over his increasingly unruly set of backbenchers. Those who I talk to, they're heading back to Westminster tomorrow. Many are worried about the direction of the country under his leadership. Now, he's going to spend the next few days talking about cost of living, stressing to all of us that things are going to improve and we will see it. But his party is worried about May, local elections across England and crucial parliamentary elections in Wales and Scotland. Labour is not expected to do well in those. But the Prime Minister stressed today that he's not going anywhere no matter what happens there, and that changes to Prime Minister, like he said we saw under the Conservatives, are not good for the country.
I was elected on a 5-year mandate to change this country. I intend to deliver on that mandate. I will be judged at the next general election on whether we have brought about the change that people voted for.
Now, the Prime Minister is also perhaps risking reopening Brexit wounds, saying that he could see us taking closer rules to the EU, to its single market that looks after areas like goods and services and finance, for example. But he's stressing that we wouldn't take EU rules or closer relationship over things like immigration. The Prime Minister, of course, risks alienating Brexiteers, but also those in his own party who want ever closer relations with the European Union. Look, this is a Prime Minister who knows he's in trouble. He's trying to show hope. He's trying to prove that he has the answers for what is wrong with the country. He thinks he's got a year. I think the reality is he's got just a few months to turn things around. Otherwise, those voices of dissent in his party will get ever louder.
David, thank you very much. In the Premier League, it was a day of drama and stoppage time goals. Liverpool were denied victory at Fulham by one of the goals of the season. And just days after the sacking of their coach, Chelsea scored a crucial last-minute equaliser at Manchester City. Here's Chris Scudder.
Chelsea closed ranks after the sacking of Enzo Maresca, and if the players looked confused about who was now in charge, here he was, under-21 coach Callum McFarlane taking interim control. It didn't look like changing the recent downturn when Man City's Tijani Reinders blasted away Chelsea's resistance. They didn't do themselves any favours by missing crucial chances.
Got to do better.
But just when it all looked lost, Enzo Fernandez popped up in stoppage time to scramble an equaliser. A great start for the new interim coach, and a result that'll be equally celebrated by Arsenal as City drop more precious points in the title race. At Fulham, Liverpool lost more ground on a day when VAR's forensic eye caught out the same linesman twice. Harry Wilson's goal was ruled out for offside, only for technology to reverse the decision. And if that embarrassed the official, he got a second taste of the treatment. Florian Wirtz denied by the same flag bearer, only for the decision to be overturned again.
It's an equaliser.
That, though, was only half of the drama. 4 minutes into stoppage time, Liverpool must have thought they'd won it through Cody Gakpo. But the celebrations were premature. Cue something quite sensational.
Reed hits one! What a goal! That is extraordinary!
Harrison Reed had only just come off the subs bench, but he'll remember this cameo for the rest of his career and never score a better goal to save the game. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And that is it for tonight. From all the team here, good night.